all the things that everybody keeps saying around him, he always knows to go to Jason. That's the thing. The key takeaway that I got, aside from the fact that they knew better. They knew better. Rocco just sacrificed himself. And they standing there talking about what he did. I was like, get up out of there now. Look, when Danny said he knew who to go to, I thought he was going to go to one of them downstairs or something. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review with Life of Chester for General Hospital, November 12th, 2025. First things first, let me know your thoughts on today's new episode down below. What y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? But yeah, I said I love that Danny always goes to Jason. I love that. But he asking him on tomorrow's episode whose idea was it. So I'm like, okay, wait, is he talking about to break in right now or is he talking about overall? But yeah, as soon as they went in that lab, I was like, that lab looked like the WSB office, don't it? I was like, what's going on? I thought they was gonna really find something. I don't think they found anything. I know they said something about this week Britt's supposed to threaten Sidwell, so I don't know if Rocco finna get arrested or what, but we'll see. But yeah, on today's new episode, we're gonna start with Brooklyn now. So they was just asking Portia what's going on with Ned, how he doing. So Rick kept interrupting Portia because Portia was beating around the bush. She was trying to prevent, herself from saying anything or giving them false hope or anything like that. And Britt just kept saying what was going on with Ned, and she kept interrupting Portia. So Portia asked to speak to her privately. So she ends up telling her that she's not authorized to tell them anything about what's going on and stuff like that. Jason ends up seeing what was going on. He ends up asking her to go to Bobby's. So they go to Bobby's and they end up having a conversation. And she was just saying, I think Jason explained to her that Portia was just trying to do what's best and protect the hospital as well as Britt from a lawsuit. And I said, that's true. I said, that's definitely true. But they were just bonding. Jason was confiding in her about Ned and stuff like that. He hoping that he get a chance to tell him how thankful he is and stuff like that. What else? Ezra. I said, I'm so sick of Ezra. I said, do y'all think he gonna win? When they started talking and stuff like that, and Laura was saying, I think Laura was the one who mentioned something about Rocco. I said, Rocco finna get caught. I said, Rocco, he gonna come on the news or something that her grandson been arrested. Ezra gonna pull up the video or something because they supposed to be debating and stuff. I was like, he gonna pull up a video of him get arrested. I was like, Rocco, he done sacrificed himself, and then he gonna try to jump up. I said, y'all tell that. He done sacrificed himself. At first, I was like, why would he close the drought? I was like, oh, he trying to sacrifice himself for these folks, and he did for his sister and his brother. But yeah, Ezra tells Laura that her relationship with Sonny gonna be her downfall, and I said, he might be right. He might be right. Martin ends up offering Laura support. Charlotte and them end up unlocking the door, and when they got in there, they seen that, there was no animals. And I think Danny was the one who said maybe Emma was wrong. And Josh been steady telling her that. She been steady telling her that it's deeper than what she think it is. And I'm disappointed that they didn't find nothing, because they did all that talk about breaking into the lab. Did they find anything, y'all? I don't know. Maybe one of them saw something and they gonna end up mentioning it. But yeah, I was like, all this talk about this doggone lab, and the look on their face on Monday's promo or whatever, I was like, okay, we finna see something good. They done walked in there, it looked like the WSB office or something. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Drew was looking for Willow. I think he was talking to Alexis about it, and he still wants her to point the finger at Michael. And she was like, she don't work for him, she worked for Willow, and that's not gonna help Willow's case. And he was just threatening her about Scout again. I said he'll just have to I just wouldn't have to see her, because he can't continue to threaten her. I said, Alexis, you ain't tired of being blackmailed yet? I said, have you learned nothing from the whole Christina, Abel, Rick situation? Like, look, you can't play his game. He'll never get tired of asking for things. And I was like, look, what's today? Wednesday? I'm like, okay, now 2 more days. Hopefully Friday's episode shows us who actually shot the man. Because, come on now. But yeah, I think once again, I think when storylines go on for too long, that a lot of people lose interest. What else? Martin ends up saying to Laura that he wants to make amends for everything he did, says his loyalty lies with her or whatever. So I was waiting on him to say something about what Drew and Ezra got going on or something. I didn't hear nothing. Now look, he made it seem like he was finna tell her something that they got going on or something. They went in the lab, they didn't see animals. Portia tells Britt, we already talked about that. Rocco and Charlotte tell Danny if he leave, he won't get in trouble, because he's been in trouble before. He's talking about, I'm gonna stick it out. I said, okay. I thought he was gonna be the one to get in trouble. Drew's still threatening Alexis. Willow tells Wiley she's never going away again. She was just standing up there looking at stuff and seeing them together. That's when Wiley sees her. He runs over and hugs her to say how much he miss her. I'm thinking, like, at some point, every time Wiley see his mama, he be like, he miss her and stuff like that. Michael don't care at all. His face be blank. He always look like he up to something. This man be playing his part. I tell you that. He be playing his part. Now, at first, I was kind of concerned about, him playing the part because, Chad was doing it for so many years, but he doing a darn good job. Just like the dude that's playing Brennan. But yeah, what else? What else? Where I stop it? Let's see. Drew still threatening Alexis. We talked about that. Oh, Willow was telling Wilder she never going away again. He was saying how much he missed her and stuff like that. And she was like, she didn't go off or, get all emotional like she normally do. But she was taking little shots. She was taking little shots at them and stuff. She was making little slick comments or whatever. So she ends up telling Michael, confronting him, saying how she knows that he's the one that framed her. And he was just smiling and stuff. And he, I was like, look, he always looked like he up to something too. But yeah, he was just smiling and he walked away. Drew ends up, I already talked about that, how he wants to go after Michael or whatever, and she don't want to do it. But after her conversation with Martin, it seemed like she gonna go back to doing the same thing. What else? Drew wanted Martin to be Alexis' co-counsel. Yeah, Drew wanted Martin to be Alexis' co-counsel or whatever. She was like, she don't need co-counsel. He said that she could work on freeing Willow and Martin could work on framing or pointing the finger at Michael, but basically framing. Laura afraid Rocco would get caught in the crossfire, and he did. He done dragged him. He done pushed him out the doggone lab and stuff like that. He done dragged them to where Laura and them at. I said, wait a minute now. I said, they must be on the campus or something. I said, wait a minute. Wait, they can't be because they was at GH. In the lab, right? Wasn't they at GH or was they at... No, they was at the college. Oh, okay. Look, because I was about to say, well, you done teleported there or something? I was like, okay. They was holding the debate at the college. What else? Let's see. Excuse me. What I stopped at? Oh, doctor came in the lab. That's when they end up hiding and stuff. And he just looking at stuff. And he was saying something about Brett. So then he started looking around and stuff. So Rocco... seen him looking around, so he opened the jar and closed. I said, you gonna get caught? And I said, oh, he want to get caught. And he got caught. Willow tells Drew about Michael, and I said, he know because Nina set it up that way. Now, he did invite her to stay and stuff like that, but yeah, he knows about it. He over here acting like he don't know. You knew what was going on. But yeah, they're going to try to use that to their advantage. Drew already said they was going to use it to their advantage. Jacinda said they're going to end up doing the same thing, using it in family court. And I was like, you could just say, well, they probably ain't got proof. They probably ain't got proof that, that they set that up, though. But I was like, yeah, she the one set that in motion. But yeah, the whole conversation with Jacinda and Michael, might as well get that out the way. He was just trying to reassure her that, he didn't want her to leave or nothing like that. He not ashamed of her. He want her to stay. And he was asking her, when she get on the stand, is there anybody that could prove that, they wasn't together? And the look on her face said she lying. It said that it's somebody that could, and Chase gonna end up being the one to find. I just feel like maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think that she was lying? Because he asked her straight up. She could have easily said, yes, there's somebody or something like that. But the look on her face said that she was lying. She was like, she just went back to her hotel room or something like that. She went back to her hotel room, and she was alone. And I said, okay, they pulled up the cameras for the apartment in regards to Nina. Can they pull up the cameras for the hotel too? Is a hotel at the Metro Court? I mean, if it's at the Metro Court, then she good to go. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Jason was talking to Brett about Ned. Gio worried he won't get a chance again. Rocco sacrificed himself. Drew said Michael deserved to lose his kids. He gonna be the one in jail or whatever, and Willow gonna have the kids back. Michael tells Jacinda he don't care what people think in regards to her. He started getting upset about Willow, and he was like, Sonny was right. His dad was right that, he need to be able to control his anger when it comes to Willow, because once he get on that stand, they're going to be able to say that it is possible that he framed her. Brooklyn was just talking to Chase about Ned. I was waiting on Chase to comfort her. I said, you running around trying to comfort Willow. You immediately, y'all had y'all hands on each other. Get your tail over there and comfort your wife. What the world going on now? What the world going on? Wait, let me see what time it is. 3:16. I almost forgot. Doggy. Let me hurry up, get done. Let's see where I stopped at. Michael asked Jacinda if there's anyone that can tank his alibi or whatever, and I said I think she lying. Danny and Charlotte tell Jason about Rocco. And the last thing is that Laura was talking to Ezra, trying to get him to debate about the things that matter, but he still want to mention her family and stuff. So next thing you know, Dalton done brought in Rocco to myself. He want him arrested because he broke into the lab. he got Rocco pinned up. I said you could take him, kick him or something. That was a run, but he knows who he is. he knew that he was working at the pool and everything. But yeah, I was like, nah, Rocco don't sacrifice himself. Dante's supposed to be questioning Charlotte about what happened and stuff like that. Danny's supposed to be talking to Jason. But that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a good rest of the day and be safe.